Hello and welcome to my channel. Here I review movies and television shows. Today's film is Transformers 1. It's a family-friendly sci-fi adventure animation about two sentient mining robots going on a quest to save the world. Together with their friends, they travel far and wide and discover dark secrets that will change their lives forever. For those familiar with the Transformers franchise, it's also the origin story for Optimus Prime and Megatron. Eric Pearson, Gabriel Ferrari, and Andrew Barrer wrote the screenplay, and Josh Cooley directed the film. It stars Chris Hemsworth, Brian Tyree Henry, John Hamm, Scarlett Johansson, and Keegan-Michael Key. To start, I want to go on a little tangent about 3D. I saw this last night in 3D, and I can confidently say there is no reason to see it like this. The film doesn't have any moments that utilize the technology well, and the glasses mute the colors to an insane degree. The 3D ticket is more expensive for a significantly worse experience. Now, on to the actual movie. The highlights of this film are the visuals and the soundtrack. The animation work is beautiful. They created a full world with different ecosystems and landscapes. There's a giant robot city with different tiers of luxury, a desolate surface world reclaimed by nature, and the ruins of ancient robot civilizations. The character designs are fantastic too. They captured the intention of the original designs and modernized them. They made them fit into their story and had characters like Optimus Prime and Megatron evolve into their iconic forms slowly. When it came to action, they had a lot of different styles to show us. There was some hand-to-hand fighting, some vehicle fights like planes dogfighting or cars shooting at each other, and there was even a mini civil war at the end with bombs going off and everything. They also managed to sneak in a few visual gags and a lot of emotion despite working with rigid robotic models. Sound-wise, they had a lot of scored orchestral tracks and one original song. The original song gets used as the theme, and we hear it a few times throughout the film. It's a catchy pop song that elevates the mood and brings a little hype to the situation. The scored tracks follow the story beats and attempt to draw out emotion from the scenery. They're usually quite effective, though there are a few moments where the music is a bit loud and interferes with the dialogue. On the negative side of things, the tracks aren't overly memorable due to their simple sound. They manage to hit on a lot of cliches, and it helps with the storytelling, but also makes the film feel more generic as a result. Story-wise, the film is a little weak. It's a fantasy film, so you have to give it some leeway, but they didn't do a good job explaining the situation clearly, and they struggled with some of the characters' motivations. A big part of the film is the relationship between Optimus Prime and Megatron. They're friends who work together and have an opposites attract dynamic. Prime is the goofy but lovable idiot, and Megatron is the serious and dependable one. Throughout the film, the two of them grow apart and eventually fight. The problem is that the fight doesn't really make sense. Megatron seems arbitrarily mad at Prime, and his actions in the second half of the film don't line up with the character presented in the first half. They also didn't do a good job of giving each section of the story the weight it deserved. They had all of these exciting story beats to get through, and they ended up rushing through all of them. It was fast-paced and exciting, but it also felt a little cheap, like they were bombarding you with events so you wouldn't think too deeply about any of them. Cast-wise, we get a lot of famous voices that do a solid job of bringing the characters to life. Chris Hemsworth plays the lovable idiot hero, Brian Tyree Henry plays the straight man, Scarlett Johansson is the sassy fighting robot, and Keegan-Michael Key plays the comic relief. There's also a few smaller appearances like Lawrence Fishburne, John Hamm, and Steve Buscemi, all of whom appear to play stereotypical characters. Each of them gets to do a bit of emotion, a few jokes, and some exposition. For standouts, there's really only one person I can name, and the villain of the story. Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron does a fantastic job with the emotional journey. At first, his character is a simple, hard-working bot, but as he learns more about Cybertron and the past, he grows angry at those responsible for its downfall. Henry does a great job transitioning from a friendly, everyday demeanor to a crazed warlord without morals. He did the fight in the finale especially well. The villain also did a great job of their performance. At first, they come off as a down-to-earth, cool character, but as they are exposed, they drop the act and start to become more vicious as time passes. Then, when they're on their last legs, seeing them become a pathetic, groveling coward was incredibly satisfying. The villain of the story did a fantastic job with their performance, and I tip my hat to them, even if I can't name them. Personally, I took my nephew to see this and found it to be entertaining enough. The story wasn't the greatest, but the rest of the film is well done and enjoyable. If you like Transformers, or if you have young kids and you want something to watch with them, this movie is decent. As for a rating, I'd give this film a 6 out of 10. Remember, these are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye-bye.